stunning little evening down here on the south coast of Kent in Herne Bay. Now we're back out this evening. Now everyone's gone home. It was an absolute packed beach, so we're going to give it a go tonight, do a little bit of coin shooting. As you know, we're using the Garrett Apex. Got a double D radar coil on tonight. The radar coil's absolutely brilliant on the beach. We'll be doing some more tests with a bigger coil on the beach, but that'll be up and coming, so keep your eyes out. But I tell you what, we've had some absolute stunning stuff over the last few weeks. So in this video, I'll be showing you a couple of finds that me and Tezza had off the beach where the jet skis are, which is about half a mile to the right of me. But I'll tell you what, we've done really well so far. So guys, stay tuned if you want to see what we find in this hunt. But I'll tell you what, look at that, absolutely stunning evening. Right, let's get on, less of the chatting, more of the finding, and we'll see you at the first. So we've just stepped off straight onto the beach. We're going to do this bait first. Just set up the machine, walk this way. Got the first tone. Oh, it's here somewhere. There you go. Bit of a grunty one. Sounds a bit like a ring pull to me. Now you can discriminate the ring pulls. Ring pulls come up at 55 to 56. But when discriminating ring pulls, sometimes you've got to be careful, because if a 50p is laying at an angle, or it's laying up at a different way, or a 20p, it could come up in those 50 marks. So once you start getting used to the Apex, you can hear by the tones, it's got like a dull back tone there. Let's find out what that is. Well, it wasn't a ring pull, but when I was close to it being a ring pull, tiny little bit of alley cam there. As you see, once you get used to the Apex, I mean, you can usually run by the tones. I mean, if you want to discriminate the ring pulls, you can discriminate them. The easiest way to discriminate a ring pull on the Apex would be say for instance, you can put a ring pull on the ground, go over the ring pull. I'll give you a quick rundown and just show you if you want to discriminate and make it easier for yourself. So while you're going over the tone, if you just push discriminate, which is this button here, you discriminate that now totally. You might get a tiny little tone off it, but that's if you want to discriminate it. If you just want to go for pound coins and 20p's and 5p's, which come up down here, and the pound coins come up quite high, if you want to discriminate the bottle caps, I mean the ring pulls, you can discriminate it like that, which is quite easy. You can also discriminate the bottle caps like that as well. So, but I like to keep that on because I like to dig everything. So let's carry on. First target, bit of can. Now I've kept it quite dark so you can just get the I'm just going to run through a few tones as well tonight. Now that tone now, I can tell you now, is a bottle cap. Now a pound coin comes up as an 83, 84, and as I say, we're going to check to make sure it's definitely a bottle cap, but I know it is. And if you want to discriminate them bottle caps, as I say, go over the top. So now you might get a bit of a tone because it jumps between 78 and 83, so it jumps slightly, but there you go. Let's find out if that is a bottle cap, but we're going to leave that on. Target's just there, see what it is. It wasn't quite a bottle cap, but it was a lid. So as I say, sometimes, I mean, the pound coins come up in the high 80s, but discriminating the high 80s, I mean, some things could lay on the side, as I say. So I'd say dig it all, just keep running it in literally all the tones, and as you get used to the Apex, as I say, you'll pick up the tones and you'll just know. But that's what that was. So right, let's carry on. Really nice peaceful night, and that's why we like to come down, me and my boy, because then we ain't got to walk around people, and we can just get on with a bit of metal detecting. Right, now this one I see, because as soon as I turn the light on, now I'm going to explain. See there, 77, 78, jumping into the 80s slightly there. Now just down there, now I see it when I just turn the light on as soon as I started recording, just here, pound coin, and that was laying just like that on the side of its edge. So that's why I always like to dig everything. But my first buckaroo. Right, let's carry on. Any coins around in this bit, there you have it. Grunty tone, but a solid 20. Just an old 2p piece. Crusty as anything. bit of a, what our American friends like to call beaver's tail, which is a tiny bit of the top of a aluminium can, the ring pull part. But we're going to carry on our way down that way. As I say, it was really packed. And yeah, the other week we was up where the jet skis was, but we thought, well, as this bit was packed, we'll try it tonight. This one was going crazy all over the place, this was. I think that is part of a fishing reel. That's what that is. Little brass insert bit there. Really high on the apex, 84, 85. At first I thought it might have been a pound coin, but part of a fishing reel. Right, I'll keep the light off so I can show you the numbers mainly. Now this is a new one for me, solid 72, 73. That's a solid number there, 74. It's jumping slightly, but it's quite a solid tone. Right, just front of the coil just down there. Right, let's see what gives off a lovely tone like that. Right, and that's what was giving off a lovely tone. At first when I looked down I thought it was the lid. Fishing weight up here in the stones. Looks like one, because I mean you get a lot of mackerel down here, so they do a lot of feather fishing, so that's the sort of weights they use. But as you see there, that was a solid 72 to a 74. Didn't really jump that much. Well, when you're inland and you pick up lead, it jumps quite all over the place, depending on what mode you're running it in. We've got the double D radar coil on again tonight, and I'll tell you what, that's a really good coil for the beach. That is absolutely brilliant. Works brilliant on the salt as well, down at the bottom, as well as it does on the stones at the top, sorry. But yeah, that's what our last target was, a fishing weight. Alright, let's carry on. Right up here, there's a bottle cap there as well, look at that. So really we've got two targets there, bottle cap and a 20p piece. High 70s. This one I have to move a few stones out the way to get it. Where did it go? Oh, I went a bit blind for a second there. Another buckaroo. It's £2 we've had so far, and a 20p piece. And we've had some other little bits and bobs and a tiny little earring. But as I say, we're just walking up. As you can see where it slants, so we're working on the flat part where most people sit on the beach, and there you have it. Another buckaroo. Right, we thought we'd stop for 5 because we want to grab a drink, but we're giving you a rundown on what we found so far. So we've had a fishing weight, a lump of coal that we just found on the surface. Don't know why we picked it up. Tiny little brass earring. Thought it was a real earring, like a gold one, but it ain't. You can see all the green there. £2, 20p. Now we've had a few 1s and 2s, but we'll not set the apex up in the 1 and 2s. If you want to know how to pick up the 1s and 2s with the apex, watch my previous video, and it'll give you a rundown on how to find these, because they're now made out of all different materials, so they're really low tone. But if you want to know how to pick these up with the apex, watch my previous video. We've also got a part of a fishing reel. Now as I say, you can discriminate the bottle caps and these ring pulls if you want to, but as I say, I like to pinpoint and get in there and try and find most of the targets. £2, 20p, but we haven't done too bad so far. But the other day we went out for a few hours and we had some really nice finds up at the jet ski area. So while we stopped for 5, I'm just going to show you 2 of the finds that we had in 3 days up the other end. I'm not going to show you the pound coins, and I think we had about £22 in 2 days, in 3 days, in 2 trips, so it weren't really too bad. So we're going to show you what we had, and I'll tell you what, they're stunning. Now they weren't silver, which was a bit of a shame, but it's still a little bit of jewellery. So we will catch you straight after. I was reading up in the high 60s, and I'm getting a few bits of can, so I'm digging almost every tone, and this is why I dig every tone almost. There it is, just there. Don't know if you can see it. Look at that. Oh, that is stunning, that is. God, I don't know if it's got any hallmarks in, but we'll have a look afterwards. I think it might have. Or it might not have. It might just be a bit of costume jewellery, but that is stunning. Look at that. Oh, get in. Push up to where the jet ski bit is, using double D radar coil. And there you have it. What an absolute stunner. Right, this one was a 63, 64. Now I've come down the stones. I mean, literally, once the tide comes in, I'm probably about under about 12-13 foot of water, and I'm back down the jet ski area, and he was right tidy. No good bringing a sand scoop to a pot party, so I bought the spade, and I mean, it's doing well in there. And check this out. I did have a look already. It's got no all marks, I don't think, in it. We'll have a proper look once we're done, but can't see any all marks in there. I'll tell you what. Oh, it don't fit. Oh well. But yeah, there's another ring. Don't know if that's silver or not, but that's another ring off the beach of Rooney. Late at night. We're on to our first target straight after now. Those rings weren't silver, but I'll tell you what, for kids' jewellery, they were off shiny. I mean, the first one that I found, I did actually think that was actually gold, but the light was beaming off it a different way. Now this one was a 54. It's a Toyser ring pull. I collect these, shove them on eBay. People are buying these. That's £4.20p I've had so far, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to check around this area in case anyone else has lost any more. So, well, as I say, when beach metal detecting as well on the stones, Apex works absolutely brilliant, and it works really well on the wet as well, as you see in some of the other shots that I showed you with the two rings. One of them, well, I think both of them are quite far down into the wet sand. But there you have it. First £2 of the night. Right, now we've got the spade out because we thought we'd go down to the where it's down at the water's edge in a minute. So this was our last target, bait pen. And wash my hands. I've had about 4 or 5 of these, but what I keep doing is picking them up and putting them straight in the bin. I don't really want to put my hands around the end of that, so I'm going to give my hands a quick wash. We're going to carry on, but yeah, what flavour that is. Shame the kids don't just actually put them in the bin when they finish with them. But we're going to put that in the bin and carry on. Finding a few coins, we ain't doing too bad. When you're finding a few coins, it's always good. You ain't got to pay for parking. So this will go in the old coin jar for at the end of the year. See how much we've made. Right. Now, I'll tell you what, this is why I like beach hunting. We've had a few £1 coins and a few £2 coins and bits like that. But check this out. Look at that. Already picked it up from my YouTube channel, and I'd like to share with you guys on TikTok, but look at that. That's absolutely stunning. That's 4 trips on the beach, 4 bits of jewellery. We've had a little bit of an earring as well tonight, but I'll tell you what, look at the sparkle on that. Absolutely stunning. Oh, I'm over the moon with that. And I'm running the double dip radio coil, and we're running it in coin mode, and boom. Oh, lovely little bit of bling. Right, then we come down onto the wet. First time down here on the wet sand is a buckaroo. Another £1 coin. Where I am now, as I say, it goes up as a slant, and then basically where I am now, it's when tide comes in, it's probably about 15 foot deep. So then when the tide goes out, it goes right down. I mean, once you get right to the bottom there, you'd probably be under about 35 foot of water, no doubt. There you have it, first time down here on the old wet sand. Yeah, another one. Another 2p. Oh no, it's 10p. We got a 10p. Hey. I think I've had a 10p already tonight. I've got another 10p though. That's a spendable one. Yep, get in there. So that's another bit spendable. Doing really well so far. And it's really nice and quiet as well. As I say, next week we'll go out when the tide goes out and get underneath the pier and check around the pier. But doing well so far. Alright, so we're stuck around with the wooden bits on. We're finding a few 2p's. Yeah, we've had quite a few 2p's so far. Mustn't complain though, because it's all spendable. It's all going in the jar for the end of the year. There's another 2p. Alright, so that brings that hunt to a close. But thanks ever so much for every single one if you're joining me every single week. Now, we will be doing a few more when it gets a little bit lighter, but during the day, night time, it's a little bit easier to be able to metal detect the beach because it just absolutely gets packed down here. But It's been a little bit harder on the stones. Now, we didn't do too bad money wise. I think we got about £5.50 something there altogether. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, about £5.50 something all there together. A couple of 8 pens, I just found them a minute ago. Fishing weight, your average, a few bottle caps, and as I say, most of that you can discriminate, but I always like to pick most of that up. Also a big lump of coal that we found, and the star find of the night is that little beauty. But look at that sparkle, that is absolutely stunning, that is. But I can't see any hallmarks in it, so I'm thinking that's just a bit of costume jewellery. As I say, the arcade's right behind me, so people are probably winning these and just dropping them on the blooming beach. But it hasn't been too bad. We did get on the wet for a little bit, and we did find a few little things on the wet sand, but the tide's just going out. But as I say, thanks ever so much for joining me. Next week I'm hoping to get back onto the land. If not, we're going to come down and we're going to get out onto the really wet sand and do a few tests out there. So thanks ever so much for joining me. Until my next adventure, this is Digger's Den. I'm Tezza, and I will catch you at the next.